Should we finish the conversation talking about no free examples? I feel like we kind
I was just thinking about it. We kind of touched on it, but we didn't really go into it.
So why no free examples?
Grant and I have been going back and forth on this literally for years now. I mean, probably like just over a year, almost 2. But gosh, so free examples, right? People love to have like an example of your work. So you can either show them, what you've done in the past, but I mean, people do appreciate when you like put in the time to do something specifically for them, but we've just found it never works for us, similar to like the value thing we spoke about earlier. So very recently, and it takes like time and resources to actually make them, right? Especially when Grant and I were doing them all, it's like you only have so much mental energy, especially if you're working on a computer and like video editing. It is insanely like mental energy intensive. So we decided no free examples, even if Oprah reaches out to us.
No free examples.
She's not getting a free example.
We love Oprah, but no free examples.
And this really goes back to the value thing, right? If somebody wants to come to our site and buy a plan, they can, for 1 month, they can cancel anytime, $1,000, you can get 4 videos, and you can test it out, and you'll value it more, and you'll know once you put your money behind it, skin in the game, if you actually really want it, right? As opposed to, we just send you a free example, and then you look at it, it's good, but it doesn't, when you don't like invest or put anything behind it, it's just like, this is great, and then you kind of just go on to the next thing type of thing. So yeah, this has been a journey for us, the no free examples.
Well, I can think back to when we were doing a lot of website design, and pretty much every time someone would reach out to us for website design, they're like, yeah, we're interested in designing a new website, things like that. We would sometimes spend the entire next day, maybe 2 days, building out like an example landing page, taking their brand elements. And I remember doing that 2 or 3 times for proposals, and it never worked. We put in so much time, I think, thinking that if we give this, then they will give in turn, and give us their business. And maybe it was that the examples we showed them just weren't the right fit, or weren't what they expected, or just maybe our budget wasn't right. But at the end of the day, maybe they just weren't ready to actually purchase a website design package, And I think now we're trying to get more towards, and we've done this with repurposing clients too. Like, we've had a client we're excited to work with. We want to create some clips with them from their podcast, and it's kind of easy for us to do, actually. Well, it's not easy. It's laborsome and takes time, but because their podcast is public, like, we can go in, we can take out a clip or two, and we can do a design kind of permissionless. Like, we don't have to ask for like, can we have access to your website editor? Like, we can do this. But every time we do it, I think, like you said, like, people see it, and then they don't. If you have no prior relationship built with them, and they're like, who is this? Why are they sending me this? I didn't even need this. I think that's the biggest issue.
Or they think it's like a fan clip too.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of big influencers just get stuff for free. But what I really want us, and this comes back to content-driven selling, is the content we create should be the best example for the type of work that we deliver. Mm-hmm. So if someone wants to see what type of work we do, then check out our content. And I think it helps hold us to a high standard. Like, all right, we've got to create good content. We've got to practice what we preach. And if potential clients also are interested in working with us or learning more about us, they're doing it through our content, where they're going to learn about who we are, what our values are, that we're showing up and trying to add value. So I think that is like that's where we've been able to progress to. I think a lot of it was just mindset. I feel like in the early days, you're kind of like a little bit desperate for business, and you're like, we have to give so much in order to get anything. And, now, and I think we just have a better way of doing it. That's all. A better way of showcasing what our value is. And like you said, if someone really wants to experiment with us, they can go on our website, buy a repurposing package, and cancel if they don't like it. So most of the time, that's not what happens, though. They stick around for a little bit, which is great.
It's kind of like we're like sitting back right now and like focusing on ourselves, putting out great content. And then when people are actually ready to come to you, they're ready to go and they're ready to start right away.